guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Iris and I'm super grateful that you're here right now. So this video is actually going to be a follow-up video on my last one, which was how to get into Carnegie Mellon. So if you guys haven't seen that video yet, definitely make sure to check it out by clicking in the top right corner. But yeah, today we're going to be diving into how to effectively research colleges. Now you might be wondering, why does this even matter, right? So, I mean, sure, you can have fancy extracurriculars, start a passion project, even rock a 4.5 GPA, but that alone won't make you stand out. What will? Showing colleges that you're a great fit, demonstrating real, thoughtful interest in their programs, culture, and community, beyond just generic info sessions and campus visits. Here's the truth. As somebody who's been through the college application process, I can tell you that being a qualified candidate isn't enough. You'll often see students get rejected from their dream schools, even though they're more than qualified. This is because top schools want students who are excited to attend and will most likely go if they're enrolled. That's where demonstrated interest, or DI, comes into play. And trust me, it works. Take me, for example. I didn't have the highest SAT score, most jaw-dropping stats, or even that many awards. Most of my awards were either state or regional, and I didn't really have that many national awards either, but I was still able to get into a top 20 university. Why? Because I did the work to research the school deeply and connect authentically with the school, helping me to build more strong and personal essays. In fact, just to throw some statistics into this, studies have actually shown that doing thorough research and connecting with professors can increase your admission chances by up to 22%. This was found in students that scored in the second highest SAT quartile, which is a score between 1300 and 1450. You can increase your admission rates by up to 34% if you are in the highest scoring SAT percentile, which is a score from 1450 to 1600. And aside from just stats and strategy, researching colleges benefits you as the applicant. It helps you figure out where you belong and helps you find not just the best quote-unquote school on paper, but the right school for you. So in today's video, I'm going to be walking you guys through step-by-step how to research colleges effectively without falling into the rabbit hole that is college websites. So I'll be using my own school, Carnegie Mellon, as a reference and walking you guys through the 5 most important elements, in my opinion. Number 1, core values of the university. Number 2, specific program curriculum. Number 3, school affiliated programs outside of your major. Number 4, networking opportunities, which include student ambassadors and faculty. And number 5, student perspectives on third-party websites like Unigo. Throughout the video, I'm also going to be sharing with you guys how to tie in some of the research into both of your supplemental essays and personal narratives, making your application more genuine and memorable. But before we jump in, make sure to like, comment, and also subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a lot. And also let me know if you guys found this video helpful, what other videos you guys would like to see. I really value your guys' feedback, so I'd love to hear from you. But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get started. Okay, so we're gonna be jumping right into this. So I'm gonna be having my computer out as well, and I'm going to be screen recording the entire thing. So feel free to either watch this through one time or pull up your computer as well and kind of follow along with me. But since I'm doing it for Carnegie Mellon, I'm going to be having their website on the screen right here. So you just type in your school's name and you type in .edu and it should bring you to their page. So the first thing I wanted to focus on was core values. So when you log in, there's a lot of stuff on the screen, obviously, but a lot of the stuff you don't really need to look through necessarily. They're kind of just numbers or latest news of the school, etc. So what we want to focus on is this part, about. And every college website is a little bit different, but you kind of have to experiment a little bit with each one. It's not going to be exactly the same, but they're all pretty similar in terms of formatting. So I'm going to go to about, and then this is what you want. So vision, mission, and values. So I'm going to click on that. Okay. So you're not going to read through this in too much detail, but you're going to kind of skim through it, look for keywords that reflect the college's values. So right here, right? This is a perfect example. You want to highlight, right? Education, research, creativity, and entrepreneurship. And then, right, problem solving, leadership, communication, interpersonal skills. Right, a lot of the colleges also say the same thing, but you still want to highlight that just so you can, because there will be reoccurring themes throughout your research, so you do want to write down the values. And this is actually the doc that I made for my research on CMU, so I have all this stuff here, so I'm gonna kind of switch back and forth and show you guys. But here's some of the values. So they actually also put this in bold, so write some of them down. You don't really need this, like some of them you don't really need to put down, like inclusion, empathy, and compassion. That's more for like the school themselves, or like sustainability, right? Creativity, that's a big one. We already saw that before. Collaboration, right? Impact, right? Dedication, distinctive work ethic. So CMU really prioritizes a strong work ethic. I think our motto is actually, our heart is in the work. I'll put the actual quote right here, but that's also definitely something to look out for. All right, perfect. The rest of this we don't really need to look through. So on my doc here, I wrote a few of these, just a few key points, and I highlighted some of the values, leadership and technology, right? Shaping the digital revolution. There's a lot of emphasis on AI and technology, right? Bold, entrepreneurship, right? We just saw that before. So scrolling to the bottom of the About page, I see something about CMU's strategic framework, which provides a mission to drive the university's mission through education, research, and global impact. So I'm just gonna click here, see where that leads me. Again, this is a framework that I'm giving you guys so that you guys don't go down this rabbit hole, because as you can see, every single page has a ton of things that you can click on and go to, and you don't really need to read through all this, but you will still have to do a little bit of experimentation. Okay. Right, becoming the partner of choice for collaboration. So again, they're emphasizing interdisciplinary studies and collaboration, right? Shaping the impact of AI and emerging technologies in service to humanity and discovery. And again, reoccurring theme, right? So you want to make note of that. And then I'm actually gonna click on this. I wanna show you guys really quick. CMU has a program called Ideate. When I was doing research, I found this really interesting, and I just wanted to show you guys. As you read through this article, you'll kind of grasp the idea of, it's really a blending of disciplines, so to speak. And this is something very unique to Carnegie Mellon. As you're researching schools, you'll find that even though the programs might be similar, there are some distinctions between schools, and you really want to pinpoint those. So here, right? It was designed to bridge the gap between technology and the arts, offering students a unique opportunity to explore the intersection of these fields. And I'll just put that out there right now. CMU very much emphasizes collaborating across disciplines to create unique ideas. That's something that they place a lot of emphasis on, and we can see that here. Like, they're literally telling us what they value. So and these are very unique, right? Inflatables class, like whoever knew that existed, right? Burroughs said that through the ID program, she's been able to apply her primary major in more creative ways that interested her. So a lot of times schools, and especially like Carnegie Mellon, they actually like to see that you're well-rounded, because they want somebody who's interested in a lot of different things and, you know, can go on to create unique projects like these. So if you have extracurriculars that show that you're multifaceted, or that you're connecting to very different interests to create and make an impact, this is the perfect school to do it for, right? So you guys kind of get the gist of this. Basically just skimming through. This article is a bit lengthy. You don't have to read all of it, but kind of just get the general idea. And also, this is something you could write about in supplemental essays, right? If you do have activities that can relate to this. This is a very unique program. I haven't seen this before in other schools. Definitely something to mention if you are interested. Okay, and now we're going to head back to the general page. Okay, so since I applied as a business major, through the Tepper School of Business. That's the school I'm going to be focusing on in this video. But if you guys are studying something else, you guys can still apply the same principles, but right now we're going to be diving into the specific school itself. So most colleges have schools within schools, so school for business, a school for engineering, etc. So right now I'm going to go to academics, and I'm going to go to majors and programs right here to the Tepper School of Business. And even here, I want you guys to pause right now. Even the landing page is already cueing you guys hints as to what the school values. So, where business is going, a future fueled by data, driven by technology, unleashed by human intelligence. Again, we're seeing this recurring theme. And even here, right, Tepper's quantitative focus offers a unique business program where we get the best of both worlds. We are able to develop strong communication skills while honing analytical skills, highlight, that help with our professional development. Going back to my doc right here, I wrote down core values. Some of this I didn't see before, but right, kind of similar, a scientific data-informed approach, right? Again, cross-disciplinary, we'll see that later as well. I place a lot of emphasis on technology and AI. So for me, just to organize myself, I highlighted everything that was relating to technology or AI or data in a orange color, so I could just see, and you can see how many times it's being iterated, right? And also, this is very important too, just as a little bonus, high school course requirements. So you want to take a look and see if you meet this criteria, and if you're still an underclassman and you're trying to research schools, I would definitely look at this just so you know what the threshold is and what requirements you have to meet. So it even specifies down here, right? 4 years of math should include at least algebra, geometry, trigonometry, analytic geometry, elementary functions, pre-calc, and preferably calculus. So advanced mathematics are highly encouraged, especially a course in calculus. So yeah, SAMU really prioritizes this science, data-driven focus. Okay, and then now I just kind of scroll back up. But we're going to go to the Tepper School of Business website. Usually every single school within the university has their own website as well. So again, join the intelligent future, right? Forward thinkers, future dreamers, problem solvers, collaborators. These are not just words. They're putting this here for a reason. So you want to take note of that and recognize patterns, right? Or we're uniquely positioned at the intersection of business, technology, and human creativity to tackle modern challenges. And I'm going to just click on this for a second. This is the strategic plan, right? Building the intelligent future, right? The Tepper School's faculty are uniquely positioned to empower the next generation of business leaders to harness the potential of artificial intelligence, in particular, large language models and other emerging technology. Again, right, I feel like I sound like a broken record at this point, but schools make it very obvious. You just have to do the research and recognize it. And I'm just kind of doing a little bit of a dig at the moment. So our approach, right, you can see right here, business, analytics, technology, and AI, all human driven. I wanted to show you guys how you can connect some of these themes that we just talked about into activities. So for example, right, if you are trying to show your fit with being data driven with respect to business, you can talk about, and these are also ideas for activities if you are younger as well. For example, I help track volunteer hours, donation trends, website traffic for my nonprofit. That's something I did as well, and I also talked about. I'm using spreadsheets and social media insights, and this helped us grow engagement by X percentage. Another example you can use is, for example, if you ran a small event and created a budget model to forecast profits and to measure return on investment. And you can even mention if you have some coding experience, you can code up a website for a local small business, even start your own nonprofit and measure metrics using data, all that stuff, really good. So just thought I'd add that in there as I'm going to sprinkle throughout the video. So now I'm going to be going to academic programs so we can get to the nitty gritty of the curriculum itself. So you want to click on undergraduate programs and it will take you here. And business administration. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff to look for, but I'm going to be focusing on concentrations, the curriculum itself, any general education requirements, and also the course catalog. Okay, so I see something about concentrations right here, so I'm going to click on that, and you can see, so Tepper actually offers 10 different concentrations, so you want to look at these and see which ones you might be interested in. This also goes for other majors too. So for example, right, when I applied, I was interested in entrepreneurship. So then you're going to look at specific courses under the concentration that you might be interested in. And then that's where the course catalog comes into play. So you're going to highlight this, copy and paste into your research document. You want to make sure you write everything in the document. That's why I have documents like these. This one I believe is 9 pages, so you want to organize everything into a doc and do it for every single school that you're applying for. So for example, if I'm interested in Intro to Entrepreneurship, I'm going to make a note to myself here. And then another tip for concentrations and choosing specific courses you might like is you want to choose one or couple that relate to some things that you might have done in high school. So I picked entrepreneurship because I did some activities related to that in high school. So if you maybe had finance experience before or any experience in marketing, I would highly recommend aligning that with your current interests. And once you pinpoint a few classes that you might like, you're gonna go to the course catalog at the top of the screen. Here's the undergrad business administration courses. So here you can see, right, and then you can look up, right, if mine was Intro to Entrepreneur. It's not showing up. So here, right, it tells you the course description, what you'll learn, so you can use some of this information. You want to write down some key points, summarize it for yourself, and then mention some of that into your essays as well. So now you're going to return back to the Tepper School of Business website, and you're going to go to student clubs and organizations. So this is the last part of the curriculum section. And then here, again, similar to the concentration, I would recommend pinpointing clubs that are related to current extracurricular activities that you're doing in high school or anything that you're involved in. And also the reason why you want to look at clubs and mention them as well is because it also shows colleges you're already trying to explore ways to engage with the school even outside of the classroom, which shows a lot of initiative. So for me, right, I did a marketing internship and I also did some marketing related activities in high school. So I wrote about the American Marketing Association. Then under here, it'll also tell you like descriptions of the club once again, right, what they do, or you can mention certain things, case competitions, consulting, etc. So now we're going to be hopping into school affiliated programs outside of your school or major. So in here, you're going to see centers and institutes. This is what we want, right? And then under here, you're going to see that for every single or every study, right, business and policy, there are some centers here, right? Arts and humanities, education, communication. So there's one for pretty much every department. But since I am a business major, I'm going to focus on that. So let's click on, since we're on the topic of entrepreneurship, I'm going to click on the Schwartz Center. So I actually did write about this in my supplemental essay, which I read to you guys in the previous video, if you guys want to check that out. Sorry, I'm kind of plugging my video twice here, but yeah. And then once you are into their website, you're going to see there's a lot of resources. So for this, I spent a lot of time looking through because, right, look at all these programs. There's so many, right? You don't have to look through all of them. I would just recommend maybe looking at a few that seem interesting, kind of skimming through it, jotting down some things that you might include. So like Project Olympus, right? I included it here in my document. Here, right, Project Olympus. I included the link in case I needed to refer back to it. I also wrote about Spark grants, right, to help fund a new startup, Discovery Kickstart program, connecting with potential customers and industry stakeholders. So I just kind of summarized it in my own words and included key information I'm probably going to include in my essays. So find a center that's related to your field of study, and I would definitely write on that too. Again, it shows your commitment outside of the classroom and willingness to learn about the school's program, not just for your major, but the school as a whole. And now we're going to be talking networking opportunities. So I'm going to talk student ambassadors first. So if you go to here, I'm going to just type in student ambassadors. And I'm going to get here, this is the first link, right? Connect with the chart ambassador. You did see my previous video, I touched on this very briefly, but you're going to just look through these and you want to find one that's related to your major. So like her, for example, right? Lauren, class of 2028, business administration. And you probably want to pick somebody who's like a freshman, sophomore, junior, probably not a senior, especially around this time because they already graduated. So you're gonna kind of see, right, what they're passionate about, what are they involved in, right, American Marketing Association. And then you want to click on connect and send them an email. This is what I did for a few, and a few of them actually did get back to me. So this is a great way to learn about the school, in my opinion. You're really getting to talk with somebody who's been through it firsthand, who is in the same shoes that you're going to be in. So I'd highly recommend this. And then for faculty, you're gonna go back and they actually have a place for faculty. A good option is always to go to the search bar. So I'm gonna type in faculty Tepper right here. You can filter by areas of study, right? So this is where the concentrations come into play, I would say, or even you can pick a core class too, it doesn't really matter, but pick a field that you're interested in. So for me, I chose entrepreneurship, and then you can find a professor that teaches one of those classes that you were interested in, and you can basically connect with them and even see if on your campus visit you can come in and observe their class, which is what I did. So if I click on entrepreneurship, I'm going to see all these pop up. You can look at their bios, right? Like, let's click on this person, for example. You can see what he teaches, right? He teaches this, innovation, entrepreneurial mindset. I'm going to make a separate video on cold emailing professors, what kind of questions to ask them when you visit. So oftentimes, a lot of them will get back to you too. You'll be surprised, actually. Professors are pretty good at getting back to you, but you might need to give it a few days. Send a follow-up email if you need to. And lastly, I'm going to be sharing a third-party website that kind of helped me understand the school more from a student perspective. So I'm going to go to Unigo. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this website. This was recommended to me, actually, and I found it pretty helpful. Okay, so it kind of takes a while to log in, but once you're in, you're going to go to college resources and college reviews. And then for me, I'm going to put in Carnegie Mellon. I clearly was on this website before because they saved that search for me. And then basically here, you're just going to find some quick facts, student life reviews, right? How politically active, a bunch of questions here, student ratings, and then reviews, right? Overall views. And then they have some specific categories, right? What's acceptance rate, describe the students at your school. You can kind of get a feel for the school a little bit. And a lot of students have written reviews on here, right? Overall opinion, academics, most popular student activities. This is also a great way to get to know the school as well, right? Stereotype of students. So in my doc here at the very bottom, I actually wrote about this, right? Student personalities, professors, kind of student that should attend, academics, all that stuff. You kind of just look through all of them and figure out as you go. But yeah, that was pretty much everything for this video. I really hope you guys found it helpful. I have done this actually for quite a few colleges. I'll put the ones that I did on the screen if you guys would like me to send you the doc that I made for those. I am a business major, so I only did it for that. But if you guys are also fellow business majors applying to any one of those schools, let me know and I will definitely send it over to you guys. But yeah, I really hope this helped you. I'm going to be making a video on cold emailing professors, like I mentioned earlier in the videos. Like this video if you guys want to see it, and definitely subscribe so don't miss that as well. Yeah, thank you guys so much for staying till the end, and I'll see you guys next time.